What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now, we're sitting roughly at about $32,380. We're up about 5%. What I want to do is start in on the 4-hour time frame, because yesterday we were talking about this 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame and how we needed to hold that. So we started to break down yesterday, and once we broke down through that, we ended up going to a low of roughly 28,661, right in that range. And what you can see is we put in a hammer candle. It came on a lot of volume, heavy volume. But what we have to be careful of here, guys, is we have a lot of overhead resistance now. So we always examine trends. So long term, the trend is up. But what you can see here in the short term, we are actually having a short-term downtrend now. We're having lower highs, and we're still having lower lows. Do you see that? And we're working in this channel now, basically. So what I'm expecting here, and what I actually did, I had some buy orders set down in these areas. I picked some up. I'm riding this up right now, and I'm basically just slowly moving my stop losses up just in case, because this is an area we could have another push to the downside, and you need to be prepared for that, because what you can see is here we have a lot of overhead resistance now, and the main overhead resistance area I'd be looking at is about $35,000. That could be very tough for us to get over top of. So that's going to be this whole confluence right here. And that's also correlating on the 4-hour here with all these moving averages. So we're trading below the 14, the 20, the 100, and the 200. Or I'm sorry, we just got up above the 200. So we are trading up above that right now. But the 14, the 20, the 100, and the 50, we are trading below right now. And we need to be aware of that. So it was nice to see some heavy volume coming in here. But what we're going to have to see is once we pull back, if we're going to set a higher low in this area and then come up here and try to test that 35. So that's an option as well, and see if we can get through that or not, or if this is an area where this is our bounce, this is all we got, and then we're going to roll over again. And I'd love to hear your opinion down low, what you're doing. Like I said, I'm protecting my profit. I'm being safe in this area, and I'm going to use stop losses in case it rolls over to the other side. I want to protect my profit. It is what it is. I'll look for a better spot, because I have to realize here in the short term the trend is down. And like we've talked about, I'm a swing trader in this space. I want to take advantage of these moves. I was excited yesterday when I saw all the volatility. That's awesome. That's what we want to see in this space. That's why we're in this space. So what you can see here on the 4-hour time frame, the RSI is sitting at 42, and the MACD here, it looks like we want a positive cross to the upside. So that's what I'm saying, guys. We could still move much higher than where we're at right now at this 32. We could go up to that 35 or whatever. It's going to be, what are we going to do with this area? Let me see here. Let me grab a box for us. So even something like this, guys, so this would be the area right here. You can see in red. This is a lot of overhead resistance that we're going to have to deal with. So that's the area when it's going to get really critical. And that's why I say, guys, just be careful, because if you are trading this market short term, we're in a downtrend now. And you have to realize, don't try to fight the trend. Okay, long term, we're still in a bull market. We're still in that uptrend. And what I wanted to show you here is if we bounce out to the 1-day time frame, and also if you guys get some from these videos, me being realistic with you, let me know down low. I appreciate it, and I also would love to hear what you guys are doing. And like we've talked about, if you're holding for the longer term, as it's a whole different game than swing trading. When you're seeing these dips in an uptrend, when you see some drop 20%, a lot of times people are adding. And then if they see it go a little bit lower, they're going to add some more, and they're going to wait for that next potential move to the upside. Because just in my opinion, this is my opinion, I don't believe we've seen the absolute top yet of this market cycle for Bitcoin. I believe we're at least going to go up there and test that $50,000. And it may take a few weeks, it may take a month, we may have to go down a little bit, sideways a little bit, but I do believe we're going to get there, just due to the fact that all these institutions have been putting so much money into it that I just don't feel like it's done yet. And a lot of these institutions, they still have been holding their coins, and that's what's propping up the price for us to still be around $32,000, along with those retail hodlers as well. But what you can see is we're trying to find support right off this 50 moving average here. We're going to have to wait for the daily candle close. If we can get up a little bit higher, a little bit above halfway of yesterday's candle, that would be a bullish piercing pattern. Then we'd have to see what type of follow through we got the next day. But as of right now, we are defending this 50 moving average, and that's basically where I put my buy orders in at. And I was lucky enough, blessed enough to be able to get some of those, and now I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen here. That's the main thing, because you also don't want to give profit back. And what you can see is here, if we go up to this area, test this trend line, then we could have a whole nother leg down, and we want to be aware of that, because that could offer great buying opportunities again if we come down to this $25,000 range, which would also correlate with the 100 moving average on the 1 day time frame. And then below that, we'd look at that 200 moving average. So in the long-term sense, as long as we are trading up above the 200 moving average, we are in a bull market. And I'm sorry, guys, that's my son up there. Just bear with me. Well, I'm on dad duty right now, too. So, but what you can see is we're trading well up above this 200 moving average. And until we lose that and start having daily candle closes below that, we're not going to be in the bear market. And that's just my opinion, like overall long-term bear market. We still have plenty of room here. We're just going to have to see if we can dig ourselves out of this hole, because this is a lot of overhead resistance now. This is where it's going to take institutions even stepping in and buying at these levels to be able to get us up higher. So on the RSI on the 1 day, we're looking at 48. On the MACD, we've had a cross to the downside here, and you can see the histogram is still ticking negative right now. If we get into trading view, take a look. On the 1 day time frame, we're looking at a 12 sell, 9 neutral, 7 buy oscillators, 2 sell, 8 neutral, and a 1 buy. So that's what I'm saying. Just be careful in these areas here. Okay. So on the 4 hour now, what we were just looking at, we still have a 12 sell, 9 neutral, 7 buy oscillators, 3 sell, 8 neutral, and a 0 buy. And you know, guys, I have nothing to gain from shilling Bitcoin to you. You know, I don't put up Coinbase links and everything all over the place. I want people to do well in this space. You know, I don't want to FOMO you. That's why we're looking at this. You know, I'm going to try to be one of the most real channels out there in terms of just looking at technical analysis. I've done the hype. I was back in the cycle of 2017, and I swore I would never do that again. I would never see profits that would have helped me greatly in life go away because I'm listening to people tell me to hodl, as opposed to being able to trade this market when there's those 20 to 40% swings and protecting yourself. And that's where stop losses help me. I put stop losses in before the big dump. And then I was able to, you know, put those buy orders down there and say, okay, well, if we get a big dump, this is where it might go to. And sometimes you can get lucky, pick them up, have a bounce like today where things are moving well, and then you have to re-examine the situation. But on the 1 day here, we have lost that 20 EMA, which for the most part in this uptrend here, we've been trading up above it. You know, we've had a couple days where we went down below it. That's why it'd be important for us to try to get back up above it today. But then we still have to deal with this downtrend here. And I'm just being realistic with you. It's going to take some time. You know, you want Bitcoin to go to $100,000, you're going to have these corrections. And that's what I do believe. This is a correction. I don't believe we're going into the bear market right now. You know, I could be 100% wrong, and I'll tell you we're wrong. But throughout all this, I'm going to protect my profit. That's what I'm going to do, so that I can buy more cryptocurrency and ride the next leg up. That's what it's about. You always have to plan. And price action, I was just reading about this today. Price action is going to give you basically the underlying current of what's going on with the market, as opposed to listening to some analyst who's going to lie to you because he wants you to do this or do that or buy this and this and this. You know how it is, guys. All those crazy thumbnails that make you go nuts and say, you know, lose your mind. I'm not hating on those guys. They can do whatever they want. I'm just saying that's not going to be here on this channel. We want to realistically look at price action, because I think that's what's going to tell you the story. The price action is going to tell you the story, not insider tips, anything like that. So that's what I wanted to leave you with today, guys. Be safe. God bless each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Remember, protect those profits. You can always buy back in at another point as well and ride it up. It's all about taking advantage of these 20, 30% swings. God bless you all.